I'm so not used to counting down.
I know, everybody's so not used to it.
That kind of stressed me out a little bit.
It was like awkward silence for 5 seconds. You go. But I think did you start counting down because of that fanfic? After reading that, you started counting down.
Maybe.
You never count down. This is horribly inaccurate.
How horrible! You did not do your lore, person. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MangaPod. I almost said fan fiction. Welcome to the MangaPod book club. Hi. We are a weekly podcast in which we get together after we have read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, randomness, and love. I am HappiLeeErin. Erin of HappiLeeErin.
You sound like you're gonna cry. I'm HappiLeeErin, and I love this MangaPod so much.
That was actually me running out of breath because I was talking too fast. But I'm Erin of HappiLeeErin.
I'm Dodger. Press start to continue.
And I'm Yokorama. Hi.
And then Dazza has been replaced by his Kuroko no Basuke counterpart, Momoe. So
Wonderful.
he is probably not going to be talking very much, but I know you'll all want to be staring at his corner because he's absolutely gorgeous. His hair just looks fantastic today. But
he would be her, wouldn't he?
He would. We were all, I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, but people were giving us our Kuroko no Basuke counterparts. I'm glad that we all have one now.
Yeah, I'm glad about that too.
And it's not just me.
It's not just Yoko.
Dorama.
Midorima. This week we read Silver Spoon by, oh hang on, I can never remember her name.
Arakawa?
Arakawa, yes. You.
You did Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
The most amazing, intricate story ever. It's like my favorite manga.
So good. Okay, we'll get into this stuff in a little bit. But what we try to do before we go into our super in-depth discussion, we give you a little summary of the manga off of my anime list so that you can get a little tidbit of it if you didn't read it and don't want to be spoiled. If you don't care about spoilers, feel free to stay with us. And if you do care about spoilers, after you hear the little tease, then you can go and read it and come back and watch the VOD on my channel, HappiLeeErin on YouTube!
Yay!
Yeah! Unfortunately,
we don't have Dazza.
Our DoctorDazza is here.
What do we do, guys?
I don't know.
Smashes. We're like, we can't do this.
Everybody's gone.
I think this is where the MangaPod gets stuck.
This is where the MangaPod derails.
We just now realize how much we need Dazza.
We do need Dazza.
Dazza, where'd you go?
Dazza, please! Stop throwing up and come help us!
Wonderful. Alright, who's gonna read it then? Not it.
I'll do it.
I don't open.
I have it open already, so it's fine, I guess. It's fine. Okay, I don't know if I don't have my glasses, so I don't know if I can actually do the Dazza, but...
Oh, that's okay, you can still do this. He really likes doing that.
Hang on, I need to make sure I'm in frame. Yes, I am. Perfect. Yugo Hachikin dreams of life separated from his family, so he takes the initiative by enrolling in an agricultural school. He thinks, with his talent in studying, no problems will arrive no matter what kind of school he attends. He is proven wrong very quickly. Raised as a city boy, he is forced to uncover the inconvenient truth about agricultural life. Enjoy the story of Hachikin as he tries to keep up with his new friends, farmers' heirs, who are already accustomed to the harsh world of farming. With no clear goals or understanding of farming life, how will Hachikin survive this new, cruel reality? The story of sweat, tear, and mud-stained youth begins.
And guys, it's as epic as the description sounds.
It really
I thought
is.
they were over-exaggerating the first time I read the description, but nah, they're actually under-exaggerating because it gets crazy.
It's quite fantastic. So that is as... I almost took a giant bite in the middle of a sentence. Realize that's not what professionals do.
Do it. Yes.
Hang on, okay.
Relax
As far as long gonna get. But you want to read it, When you don't want to be spoiled, then you should leave and go get some food and then come back.
Yeah.
We read your face. Oh, whoops! I accidentally put the browser over XSplits. That was wrong.
Wow.
Wow. We read chapters 1 through 35, or volumes 1 through 4. So hopefully you guys will not post, if you have read further than that, don't post any spoilers or anything in the chat or anything like that. Because that'd be really sad, because we didn't read anywhere past
We don't want to
that.
know. We don't want to know.
We don't want to know. We want to be surprised. We want to figure this out on our own.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start out wait. If you are in the chat, our lovely moderators tonight are I am Ian Leaf and hi, my name is David. So please be respectful. They will be in the chat moderating that and such. And David might bring me water later if I ask him to.
Oh.
But he
God,
might.
I need somebody really pretty that lives with me that can bring me water.
Brings you water and
That sounds like that's the only use he has. Just bring me water. What's cool is you don't have to even say it. You can just like type it into the chat, like all
I know. I could text him, but why do that when you could just live on the stream say that? Okay, let's start off how we usually do. What were your guys' expectations before you started reading the manga? I can go first.
Oh.
Oh,
Go for it.
no, you can go.
Okay, I'll go. So, I didn't know very much about this manga at all, but I know that I love Full Metal Alchemist, and again, it's like one of my favorite manga ever. So I had tried reading some of her other one-shots before, and they weren't very interesting. So I was concerned about reading this. I was like, oh man, there's like another full-blown series. Like, I wonder if it's going to be as good. And it wound up being so completely different that you literally can't compare them at all. The only way that I'm still reminded that it's even her story is because every now and then a background character looks like Roy Mustang, and I get really confused. So I'm like, why is Roy Mustang there? But
He just burns all the crops.
it's just like, you should not be there. But I was really excited to read this because she's very good at storytelling, and being somebody who grew up on a farm in like a small farming town, I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun for me to read, because I bet that there's going to be a lot of really like accurate things about it that I'm going to go, oh, that's true. That story was really well told, you know? So those are my feelings going into it.
Yep. Oh, I hear myself echoing in somebody.
Yeah.
It's me!
Oh.
I'm the dumbest.
I was like, am I hearing my voice somewhere? Wait, so that means I'm coming out of two screens? That means I'm in two places at once?
Yep.
Okay,
Aaron, you nailed it.
Hey, Dodger, I'm in your room.
No, Aaron, stop. Aaron, no, stop.
You plug those
Overload.
headphones in. Hey, hi, Dodger. Hi.
No.
Hi.
Okay, I did it. I fixed it. Thank you for alerting me to that. That was very nice of you.
You're welcome. Now eat your salad.
I will. My protein salad.
Delicious protein and veggies. I had pretty much the same exact feelings beforehand because I had been wanting to read this one for a while. It had been recommended to me a lot, and I absolutely love Full Metal Alchemist, same as Dodgers, one of my favorite anime and one of my favorite manga. And the mangaka just has such a brilliant way of storytelling. And so that made me really, really excited about it. Ended up being very, very different from what I was expecting, even though the description should have given me a hint that that's what it would have been, but for some reason it still ended up being different than what I was expecting. And also, having grown up in Nebraska, not necessarily on a town, but on a farm,
Oh.
but with a bunch of friends and family that did grow up on farms. So watching that, seeing that in manga was really fun and really nostalgic, and I really enjoyed it because it was also very intelligent. It wasn't just, hey, blah blah, this is this. Like, there was a lot of in-depth information I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to learn as much as I did either. So that's me. I'm done.
Yeah, I kind of went into this. No, I kind of went into this thinking like,
No,
well,
guys,
it's a series is a series about farms and like farming and like cows and horses. How interesting can it get? You know, like really, I was like this description is most likely like way over exaggerated because it's not gonna be that interesting. Come on, but I ended up like usually like with a lot of the manga series that have a lot of dialogue, you can skip some of it, you know, because there's a lot of like background conversations that aren't really important. But I was like so interested in like all the detail and all the like information that they were giving out. I ended up reading like every little like bubble that they had, and sometimes it took like a few minutes to read a page. Sometimes it's just like all over the place. So it was just a very fun experience, and it was so different. Like I was driving with my brother because I was driving from Detroit, and he's not into anime or manga, but he knows that I read it. But he thinks it's all about like, you know, like Dragon Ball Z type thing or like Yu-Gi-Oh and like all this weird
I mean,
shit.
that's
You know,
an understandable assumption.
Yeah.
So I'm like reading this and I'm like, dude, they're about to like butcher a deer. And I was like, what are they doing? I'm like, oh, they're showing how a calf is being born. You know. Or I was like, what are you?
That scene was so graphic, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I had the
Like,
same exact facial expression that Hachiken did. I was like,
You see that? How the dad of Tamako or whatever just like kind of like with his hand just like stretched. Oh,
Yeah.
but
I didn't even, yeah.
Oh.
it was
So-
very entertaining. Like that's like this is the kind of manga series that's pretty much for anyone because it doesn't like go crazy with all of these like weird superpowers because this is, and it's weird because after reading and watching Full Metal Alchemist, you would kind of expect something like that.
I was
you know?
waiting for there to be some sort of a supernatural element or magical element or something, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, this literally is just a story about a city kid like who has nothing going for him going to agricultural school. Like that's literally what this is about.
And it was great.
I kept expecting something horrible to happen. Like just knowing what happens very early on, not going to give any spoils, but some few things that happened very early on in Full Metal Alchemist, I was like, something horrible happened in his past. Something terrible happened that got him there. And like, it was just, it never happened, but I was expecting it for a really long time. And then it just clicked. I was like, this is a completely different story. Like,
Yeah.
not even the same real feeling.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, like-
second that it was like legitimized that his mom was just, you know, a mom that didn't understand him and his dad is just a dad who was mean. He's just like, oh, okay.
It's like,
That's it.
Oh,
All
I
right.
know.
Yeah, but the only thing that really like reminded me of like FMA was that like the character design. There's a lot of
Character
character designs like over there that we saw, and I like that character design. It was kind of cool. So.
And the humor. The humor
The
was
humor
awesome.
was
Oh, the humor.
Humor was
Great.
The faces.
amazing.
Oh, so good.
And the one-liners, there were so many good, and like situational humor. She is so good at situational humor. I noticed that in a lot of her Full Metal Alchemist stuff. She's really good with the humor. It was so funny. Facial expressions. Like the one part, I'm trying to remember like all my favorite funny parts, but there's the one where she offers him to come back to her home over the break, and he's like, he does the whole dance thing, and then it comes back, and he's like, wait, are you gonna tell me that your grandparents are gonna be there? And she's like, yeah, my grandparents will be there. And he's like, shock averted. And he was so happy.
I ended up tweeting that page.
I
That
saw
was
the
just-
one,
that
yeah,
was
the
too
dancing
funny.
one.
That was too funny.
Such a good scene. It was like so. She always like verges on the cliche and then completely knocks it off its legs.
Yeah.
off its butt.
Also that scene where you know how they had that little argument, like he saw the girl cry, right?
Yeah.
And then like afterwards he asked like, so what happened between you? Oh, it has nothing to do with you.
Just
like,
the end.
and then like he's like dead for like the next few
Yeah.
pages. Like his eyes are
Paints
like
that face in
it's
every
like-
single frame. It's so
his
funny.
face is like a black hole. It was just great. I
It
love
was
it.
so, and then I love how they just like keep reading off a manga that perfectly describes the situation he's worried about. So funny. I loved talk about character really quick. I loved Tamako and how there was so many funny just little moments in the background with her. Like when there was the big windstorm and they had to try and hold everything down, and she's the only one.
And she's the only one that's lifted by the wind, and they're like, "You're huge. How is this wind lifting you?" Amazing.
So good. And then when she like lost all the weight, and then 2 chapters later had gained it all back, and Hachikin's just like, nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, that was him. He was just like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" Oh, I just realized that nothing can surprise me anymore. This is it.
I also loved like really early on when they first introduced her, and somebody like did this on her face and was like, "Whoa, she's actually really pretty."
And it was like this much.
You just cut into her features. I was like,
If you just shave off a few layers, like.
So funny. I loved when she, her parents were like, "We hope we're not forcing you to take over the farm. We don't want this to be a thing where you feel forced to do this." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not taking it over. I'm overthrowing you."
Yeah.
The first
I
thing to
believe
go
you've misunderstood. It's just like, oh.
Then her parents were like, "What have we done? What have we raised?" So fantastic.
She's an amazing character. Yeah.
She's fantastic. What about other characters? What are some other characters you guys really liked?
Oh, what is his name? The baseball guy.
Konda? Hang on.
Mona?
Kambaba.
Shish kebab.
Whatever, that guy.
Kebab.
Kamaba. I love
Yeah.
him. I like that he's like a perfect foil to our main dude, because like he's constantly like, "No, I can't lose myself. I can't lose my sentimentality. Like I have to maintain this reverence that I have for life and all this other stuff." And Komaba's just like, "What? If it's not feeding me, then it's useless." Damn. Like, he's like the complete opposite of him, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I loved when they were talking about like purity of stock, when they were talking to all of the guys who were obsessed with cows, and they were talking about like, you know, how there are some that are like the best breed and some that are just, you know, kind of faily, and they were like, "Bet you're glad you weren't a cow, huh?" And he's like, "What?" And then later when they're talking about Komaba, he's like, "No, he would be the best beef." It's just like flipped. Amazing.
So good. I love, I really liked, it was much more about the ethics about eating animals and not eating animals. And I really loved how they handled it too. Just him being there, and how the one teacher was talking about how you can have people of the exact same mindset, and then you bring in one person who unfailingly questions everything and doesn't see it the exact same way, and how that starts to change things. And I just loved that like imagery and that whole analogy that they had.
Yeah, because like in the end he winds up settling on, okay, I know that I don't want to stop eating meat. I love meat, but I can be reverent toward what I'm eating. You know, I can like treat it with respect, sort of an idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that you know, that he had this whole struggle within himself, like, maybe I should just stop eating meat. No, I'm not going to stop eating meat. I love meat. Like, just like all these things. And then wound up, you know, settling on something that he felt made the most sense to him. And that's what everybody's doing.
Did you expect him to buy like the meat of the pig?
I cried.
Or did you expect?
I sobbed. I was so sad. I was at work and I started reading that. I was like, "Oh no, and then I just started crying.
It was crazy because like he's like, I want to buy. How much would it cost to buy the pig? You know, and you think like, oh, he's probably gonna buy the pig, but then the teacher's like, oh, it's gonna cost so much money, and you have to take care of him, or you're like, what are you gonna do after you graduate? And it's like, no, I want to buy the meat.
Right.
I was shocked. I was completely shocked. I did not see that coming. I didn't see it coming. Did you guys see that coming?
I didn't see that coming, honestly.
I mean,
that's what I liked about this.
Cry, but I didn't see it coming.
I thought maybe it would at least make somebody else feel emotional. I felt really emotional.
The thing is, you kind of hyped it up for me in a way. I read your tweet before getting to that part because you're like chapter 26. Like I'm like crying. I'm so emotional or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. I was kind of like waiting for it, and then he's just like, I want to buy the meat. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But
listen. Sometimes I feel things more than other people do. And it wasn't, I was just like, I'm crying ugly tears. It wasn't like, oh my god, this person died. Pork Bull was my favorite character, and they killed him.
I love
It's okay, I have bacon next.
When he met the calf, and he was like, "You're going to be Beef Bowl," and they're like, "Have you learned nothing? Stop this!"
And then he starts naming all the other pigs. He's like, Ham, like other pork bowl or something like that. Like, he just starts naming. And they're like, whoa, stop, no.
I like the atmosphere of when he was smoking the bacon from pork bowl. Like it actually did feel like a funeral. Like when that dude's like. It doesn't this feel like a funeral? Like
and the one guy's like, it reminds me of my dad's funeral. I was like,
yeah.
Then he starts talking about eating right away.
But hey,
it's funny, like every time we accomplish something or celebrate something, we just eat a bunch of meat. That's like
I love it.
Always just an immediate barbecue.
All of barbecue.
And then Tamako is just like, that's how they're trying to brainwash us. She's all about the conspiracies and stuff. Just it's so funny.
I love when you just said that. That made me think about how they can have really serious, dramatic moments, and then have it be broken up by comedy. But it doesn't feel weird. Like it makes me think about Welcome to the NHK and how that would always have these really dramatic moments, and then comedy would break the tension, and it always felt so unfulfilling. Whereas this, it felt fulfilling because it handled both so well. Like it still felt emotionally fulfilling and also like really funny. I thought she did that very well.
Yeah.
Comparatively. Yeah.
What about the whole like pizza thing? Did that like warm your hearts? Because it warmed my heart when he was like, "All right, I'm gonna make everybody pizza," and then they wound up getting like everything from everybody, and then like everybody in the school showed up to eat pizza, and he's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no!" It's like,
he kept like everybody, the
pizza
teachers.
be delicious.
I know. I was horrified that the pizza was gonna be really bad. I was like,
Yeah.
His reaction when he like bit into it for the first time, he started laughing.
I know, and then everybody else started laughing, and I was like, "Oh no,
like,
oh no, oh no!"
What's happening? I love
It's
that
just so good you can't help but laugh. Good it is.
I love that his brother is so bad because you're expecting him to be good. After did his brother show up after the pizza thing? Yeah. So you're expecting him to be really good because Hachiken was so good with the pizza, and then it's just horrible. Everyone just gets really sick.
So the reason why Hachiken hates his or doesn't like his brother is because his brother was like so smart, and his parents are trying to like compare him to his brother. That's why, right?
He doesn't. Yeah, it's like his brother like was effortlessly really good at everything.
Yeah, he's like a genius.
And his dad was like, get into a really good school, and so he did. And then he was like, all right, I'm done proving myself to you, Dad. I'm gonna go do whatever I want, and just dropped out of school. And now his parents are like.
His dad had one crazy scary panel.
Holy crap!
Oh my god, the one panel is just like.
That's the only time we saw his face. Like, oh, our son just sent us some bacon that he made himself. You want to try some?
I know.
I
was like, what did you do to your son? This is gonna be the horrible moment that we've all been waiting for. What did you do to him? And then he liked the bacon.
He likes the bacon.
He liked.
So.
I don't know. I think his mom lied. I don't think he tried the bacon.
I didn't think of that.
I didn't think about that either. I was just so happy.
Oh, we duped so easily, Erin.
Oh no!
They got you. They got you.
They got me.
Really
Dang it! They really figured us out.
I want to see. I want to see more stuff with the dad because the dad just seeing that like scary face looked like very angry Hughes from Alchemist. So,
he did look like Hughes.
Oh man.
Let's talk. I love about how many food scenes there were. Like we were kind of touching on that.
Super
so hungry.
I wanted to eat like the entire time.
The entire time. After pork bowl got made into bacon, I was really craving some bacon. I was really sad, and then I started craving bacon.
Because I was driving home and all I could get was like McDonald's and like eating McDonald's while reading that, like all this like awesome barbecues. I'm just like, ugh. Yeah.
And how often they like wax poetic about, oh, this is fresh from the garden, that's when it tastes best, and
all the science,
and there's no preservatives and everything else. So you're just like, oh, it sounds delicious.
Why can't
like
that
when
be
they had the
me?
corn. They had the corn.
Oh.
Like, if the
Yeah,
plant
he's
lays
like, it's
around,
all so good.
it loses the sweetness. When you just freshly pick it, that's when it's sweet. It was kind of funny how the girls, they all like right away boiled it, and then when the guys showed up, they're like, oh, they get all the grill stuff.
gotta
Grill! You got
They drop
grill!
all their work, just like who cares, and then just have like a mini party.
Wait, can we talk about the alien side story?
Oh my god, one of
Because
the
I
very
was
last
dying.
Oh, about the tractor?
Oh my
man.
God.
He's like,
That's
this means
great.
that he is going to show up. And I was like, what?
It was so dramatic for like 2 chapters.
It was amazing.
I
It
did not
was
expect it to be a tractor. I honestly did not
No.
either.
Me neither.
I was just like, no way.
did not know. And then I love that Tomoko at the end of both chapters, she says fools. And it's because the first one she knows is gonna happen, the next one she's like, you guys are morons. We have combines exactly like that at our
Yeah, you
house.
could have just come by and looked at mine, idiots.
So evil.
I was
She would
not.
probably, she would probably charge him money. I'm telling you, she's like, she's all about money.
She is.
Yeah,
I
man.
was not expecting that whole scene. Reminded me so much of the episode 2 of Angel Beats. Whenever they're, have you guys watched Angel
I've-
Beats?
I've seen Angel Beats.
The
I
part
just can't
where-
recall it. It's been a while.
The part where they're going down to the secret base or whatever, and there's all the booby traps, and people keep dying, and everyone's like, "Your noble sacrifice will be remembered," and they die in like these like really silly ways. It reminded me a lot of that, just because they kept yelling about how the noble sacrifice is and the same humor type of thing. Maybe it's a stretch, you guys, but it reminded me of that. Okay.
No, I
haven't
could see
seen
it. Remind. I
so-
can see it.
Okay, it makes sense.
Except nobody died in this.
No one died,
No one
but
dies in Angel Beats either.
Their freedom died because they knew they willingly got caught and they were given bathroom duty.
That was so awesome how like all of them kind of like it's so great. Like the pizza guy, like the fat guy is just like he learned the whole dough technique. He throws it.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. I was like, really? Are we doing this right now?
Switch the body pillow with himself, and the teacher's like, hell is this?"
There's like, wait, who's covering for us? You had one job.
Wait a minute. We established this so long ago.
Hold on. And then when they found the watermelon thief, they just,
Oh, man.
It's like, and the one guy's like, somebody's got to stay with him. You guys just go on. It's fine. They're like, your noble sacrifice will be remembered. Great. So great.
I love it.
What is the small guy who's bad at math? What is his name? I always
Oh,
got him.
God.
I got him super confused with one of Hachikin's roommates. I kept
yeah.
getting them confused.
Yeah, me too.
I think his name was
Yeah.
Tokiwa, right?
Kiwa. Yeah, during that whole combine thing, his out, it was so funny. I was like, what happened to him? What is going on?
Like he just
turned
fell
away.
over, like
He
what?
just fell over and like tore his pants off, and he was embarrassed because his butt.
Oh,
was
that's right.
showing.
And then he like leaned all cool against a tree and was like, "Go on
I
ahead.
will.
I'll stay here." I was like, "What?"
It just shows his little bum, his little patouche. I had to go back. I was like, is that what I think it is? And then I giggled. And then I giggled because butts are funny.
That's our
Butts are funny.
very, very true.
And then you just start giggling. This is great.
Booties. What about oh, I dropped something. It's fine. What did you guys think about the teachers? Who were your favorite teachers?
The cheese guy, the horse
Oh,
advisor.
I loved the pig woman.
I did too.
I thought she
Oh,
was
like,
great. She was so
Army
hardcore.
woman.
Super hardcore. She was no nonsense. And then she brings out the beer.
She was one of the only characters that looked very different from any character I had seen before in like Full Metal Alchemist.
Mhm.
I was like, you don't remind me of another character, and that is rare. like, oh, you look totally different. I kind of like that. So she stuck out to me.
Yeah.
That's probably because she had like a hat and sunglasses on at all times.
Mm-hmm. And she had like I don't remember any of Arakawa's other women having like dark lips. Like
Yeah.
normally they have the lip shimmer drawn on there, but no yeah. So I was like, oh.
Attention to detail. Wow.
Oh.
You know, girl.
I really liked her personality, and her words were like, when she spoke, inspirational lines were ones that stood out really well and like were very memorable. I like the whole principle. Yeah.
I was just about to say that I love the principal. Go
Oh,
on.
okay. I was gonna say I love the principal and his inspiring speech in the last chapter. Was it the last chapter we read? Second to last?
So.
Yeah, in the last chapter we read about how running away doesn't necessarily always have to be negative. I had literally never in my life thought about anything like that.
Yeah.
It changed me.
Yeah, because you like you said, you get new experiences, you meet new people, and how you can make that positive. So it's yeah, it was a very like new look at that whole idea. Because every time when somebody like runs away from something, like of course it's bad to just like drop everything and run away, but there you can find positives from it, I guess. It's interesting.
Yeah. I just really liked the messages in the manga so far have been really, really good. And they've also like just flowed very nicely. Like none of them have really felt forced, and they just kind of flow from one to another, while also like interconnecting in the same way. So it makes me interested to see what other messages she's gonna kind of bring up like later on in near the end. See the characters develop. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing was really good. Like they went through like quite a few months while they were there, didn't they? In those first 35, they went through like a few quarters. It never felt like we had missed anything or that they left out information that was just felt weird. The whole pacing of it, while it was still pretty fast, it still felt really natural.
Yeah, and also like it felt like the things that he did, I guess like the interest that he had in things didn't feel far-fetched. Like when he joined the equestrian club because he was so crushing hard on that girl.
Yeah.
And then he was like he still doesn't entirely get horses, you know, like they didn't make it so that he's suddenly like, oh, I can ride horses and like,
this guy has such talent.
I have a connection with them, you know. He's still just like, I still don't entirely get horses. Like I still think they're really ugly and weird.
He keeps calling them rude.
Yeah. It was so funny how
like,
when she keeps saying like, "Oh, you remind me of a horse." And every time you think like, "You think I'm ugly? What?"
Yeah, you always think ugly.
I also like that though. I like that a huge theme of the story so far is that sometimes even if you see yourself as negative things, other people around you might see you in a much more positive light. Like he keeps being so down on himself and everybody's like, no, you're awesome, shut up. Like, you know, like everybody really likes him, but he can't quite accept that maybe he's a good person and like maybe the things that he did are like okay. And I think a lot of people go through that, so I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I agree, especially like she doesn't make him out to be the super perfect human being either, that like you have to reach, like he's obviously perfect and you can't see it, oh woe is me. Like he actually like has his faults and like, but he still tries very hard to be a good person. It's just like you were saying, it's difficult for him to see him as that, but like he doesn't feel like this perfect Gary Sue or anything like that. Like he is like a really good person and a character that you really, really root for and really like enjoy and want to see grow. He's very likable.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is. Arco is really good at making flawed characters that you still really like.
Yeah. Every single one of her characters is like that.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's not just some like annoying smartass, you know, because that's how he kind of was like seeming in the beginning. Because he's like, oh, I'm gonna study, I'm gonna be like the smartest in the class, and then you saw him like get good grades, but still he wasn't number one in any subject.
He wasn't number one in anything. I loved that. He was just
and then he's just like, yeah, even though I'm number one, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, this is the most unsatisfactory number one placement I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Even that idiot, like, passed.
I know, got better than him in something.
That was great.
I know that we mentioned when we first were doing our, like, expectations at the beginning, there were so many moments that reminded me of my childhood and growing up in Nebraska. There were so many moments. The very first one for me was when they are in gym and they're gonna do the marathon to test their endurance or whatever, and the guy says that they're gonna have to take one lap around the school, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not a big deal," and then he's like, "That includes all of the fields."
Yeah, and they're like,
it reminded me so much of cross country because there was a cornfield. There's like 4 cornfields on every single side of my school, and the one right next to it was technically part of our school grounds, and so when we did cross country, we had to run all the way around that stupid cornfield, and then through the hills and the fields in the back, and then run back because my school was in the middle of bum butt nowhere, and so that reminded me so much of that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting flashbacks to high school. It made me really happy because it just made me like nostalgic about it too.
Yeah, totally. And like, and all of the kids on their breaks having to help out at the farm, they don't actually get a break. Like that's totally what my school was like. And also when Kobama came by with the tractor, for some reason I got like a weird reminiscing moment because we had a neighbor whose son would sometimes drive their tractors over to our place so that we could use them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this happens. You guys, any of you who read this and were like, really?
It happens!
It's all legit. Like, it's so silly. And the other big one that I loved was when he was like, oh yeah, I'll just walk over to his house and see if I can get a signal. And I was like, they live on farms. How far away is his house?
Yep.
And then he was like immediately lost, and I was like, okay, this is way more believable.
Exactly. The pizza thing too, and the no cell phone, like everyone having landlines.
Yeah.
And the people staring at him like pizza delivery. I hear that you can call any place and they'll have pizza delivered in 30 minutes.
It's like a myth.
Yeah, I was like, that is exactly how I felt when I was younger. Because my town wasn't even a town. It was just an intersection with houses around it. And to get pizza, you had to go 40 minutes into town to get pizza, like 30, 40 minutes to get the pizza. So you never have pizza.
That's why I get delivery so much now. Because I'm like, oh my god, in LA you can get food delivered? I realize that this isn't a new thing, but I'm just like, I've never had this before. Never.
It's new for us.
Yeah.
It's like exciting. It's so weird that you don't have to.
This manga made me really want to butcher like a deer.
When they hit the deer, it made me remember hitting deer and having to avoid those stupid things all over the place.
There's so many deer in Oregon and Portland.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
They're everywhere.
Every time I would drive home from somewhere, like say I was in rehearsal for a play or something in high school, when I would drive home, my mom would call me every single night and be like, remember, drive slow because the deer are out. Every night. Every single time. Because she was like, seriously, I've hit so many deer. I swear to God, go slow. I was like, okay.
My mom
Never hit a deer, thank God.
My mommy did the exact same thing. Every day before school, every day before I would come home, she'd be like, Erin, drive slow. The deer are on those crunchy those crunchy rolls.
On the crunchy roll?
Crunchyroll? Deer on Crunchyroll. That's something new. Is that like a sneak peek or something?
Crunchyroll sponsoring MangaPod now. Not really. On those country roads all the time.
That's what you were trying to say. I was seriously sitting here going, what did she mean to say? Because I can't think of anything.
Country roads.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. There was always deer, and the fact that he hit one, and then, though I'm trying to remember. I feel like I remember that whenever we hit a deer, that you weren't supposed to cut it up and stuff because it would get all sorts of infection.
It was on
I think it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal.
It was on proper. That's why. Yeah, you can't pick up a deer after you hit it and like take it home and eat it.
Well, you're supposed to pull it off the road.
You're supposed to pull it off the road.
Oh yeah, but you can't like put it in your trunk at home and make beef jerky or like.
But it's illegal to take it home.
Beef.
Yeah.
Or a bear. If you hit a bear on the way home, I was like, what?
I was like, a raccoon I can understand. I have plenty of raccoons.
Oh man, after hitting that bear.
That was so funny. That scene, he was like, we're alone in the back of the cab of the truck.
There's stars everywhere.
Stars. And then the next one is the same exact thing, except there's a bear back there. A dead bear.
But yeah, it's like I'm in I've lived like in the city most of my life, and I'm kind of like I'm thinking of like moving over here to Missouri, and it's like a lot of like farm area places. So it's kind of like something I'm already like kind of interested in. I like that kind of life. I like the kind of life where I'm just kind of like chilling at home, doing some work here and there, you know, maybe have a few chickens running around or something like that. So it's like like reading this, like it actually it did so much for me because like so much information, so much interesting stuff, and like I want to go hunting around here because like you can hunt turkeys and stuff, and like kind of like butchering and killing your own food. And it's just so interesting, so interesting. Like I'm gonna get a shotgun in like the next few months. I'm gonna go hunting for turkeys.
In terms of like things that I actually learned from this, I had no idea that the eggs actually came from like technically the same place as poop with chickens, and that was hilarious watching him be like, no, these are poop eggs. I can't eat these. No, I don't want to eat them. They're gross.
Would you eat shit because you're eating shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, bro, did you know they come from the butt? You know, they even come like covered a little bit in crap. You know, sometimes that's why you have to wipe him down. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone's so calm. I love that there was like he overreacted and like reacted in such ways that exactly like if somebody was a city boy and went to the farm place, like would react.
It's like, hold up.
You do.
I mean,
what?
poop eggs? That was like the first time too that we really saw him like trip balls about something, and everybody be like, "What's the big deal? It's an animal. Like, you eat eggs all the time. It's not different now." Like,
yeah, it's kind of funny because he's not used to any of that stuff, and like they sometimes like since all of them are like completely used to that kind of lifestyle. Like when they help, remember in the beginning, like their little group had to help like catch all the chickens because they were like running off, and like the dude's just like, oh, well, here's a reward, and just like boom, chops the chicken's head off. I'll smoke some chicken and I'll give you some, and that guy's just like, oh,
horrified. It was amazing.
It was great.
It's the best faces, the best facial expressions.
Yep.
On this show.
Very
Good job, Arakawa. You did it.
Have either of you watched the anime yet?
No.
Is it out already?
Yet? It might
So I
not
don't
be
think it's out
yet.
yet. It's probably gonna be out soon, and I can't wait for it.
Gotta be. I know that Blood Lad came out already. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm really excited. When I was reading it, I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna enjoy this as an anime because I was enjoying it as I was reading it, but I was wondering if it's gonna be different watching it. I honestly was thinking it as I was reading it, even though I was liking it. I was like, I don't know if I would like this as an anime, but like as we got further in, I'm like really interested to see how they do it.
It's gonna be kind of hard to like exactly like bring it over to anime because anime doesn't really do a lot of like monologue. You know, they kind of convert sometimes. Like they might change up the conversations because he has a lot of like thoughts. Like half the time we're like reading his conversations or whatever, he has a lot of just like thoughts going out. Like, oh my gosh, what's this? What's that? That's why sometimes the horse kind of like kicks him, and he's like, oh, did he just read my mind? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope they kind of like bring that over. If they could bring that over like nicely into anime form, then I think it's gonna work out great.
If they keep
I
the
don't see
facial
why-
expressions too.
Oh yeah, they got it. They're gonna like. I want them to
Yeah.
over exaggerate them like crazy.
Yeah.
They gotta do it. They gotta have like 3D like over exaggerations of that like black hole.
Oh my god, that would be interesting to see how they do that scene in the anime because it's so much easier to get the comedy across with that in manga because of
Which
the
scene?
panels.
Sorry?
The scene after he sees the girl and kebab guy.
Just
and
Oh,
she's
when
crying.
he's got the O face, just
Yeah, the O face, like so many different
he's
panels.
just looking so upset.
That was just great.
That
That
Like,
was like
such a good
one of my
scene.
favorite.
that was so
faces.
That was very very relatable because sometimes like because he completely like he couldn't sleep all night. He's just like kind of like freaking out. Why was she crying? What's going on? Wait, if I'm thinking about this, does it mean I like her? No, it's just I'm just her friend. No,
Yeah,
do I
this
like
isn't-
her?
Is this jealousy? No, this
No,
isn't jealous. Just like
and then he's
her.
and then out loud he's like, "What's the difference between like and love?" And everyone's just staring at him.
Yeah.
And they start talking about the different animals.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be
Like,
chickens.
if I was going to say I like or love an animal, it would probably be a cow.
Yeah, so it's kind of relatable because like even after that he's just completely dead. You know, after like she's just like, oh, it has nothing to do with you. That's like the worst thing. That's like just walking all over him. It's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. Let's talk about her. We haven't even like mentioned her at all. What are your guys' thoughts on her? Let me try and remember her name. I know it starts with an M.
Starts with an
Mikage. Mikage.
Kage, yeah.
I was like, I know it starts with an M.
Um, I like her. I hope that eventually they just talk about the possibility of her incorporating horses into her farm.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, it seems like such an obvious thing. I know that she comes from a dairy farm and she's supposed to inherit the dairy farm, and she's like, oh, but I want to work with horses, and I'm like, well, can't you work with horses on a dairy farm?
Yeah.
Can you just have horses? I realize that that's like extra work, and like maybe there's a money issue and stuff, but I was like, oh, but you're gonna figure out some way. By the end of this, there's gonna be some way.
If they get together with the main character, then he could help out because he has nothing. He has no idea.
I loved how his mom was like, he should be our son-in-law, and the dad was like, what?
The dad was awesome. The dad was freaking awesome. He was just like hovering behind him all the time. It's crazy.
And her little tiny great grandma who just like stared down all those cows.
It's like 107 years old or something like
It was
that.
the best.
Oh man. When the cows got out, it made me think about the one time I was driving home from work in Lincoln, and there were a bunch of cows on the road.
That happened to me too, except I was going to school. I was like on the way to school, and there were cows all over the road, and I had to just wait.
You had to wait
for
for
the
the
cowboys
cows
to like get them back. I was like,
The nice thing about living in a place where that happens is like you can explain to somebody and they'll be like, oh, okay.
yeah.
They'll totally understand.
I got stuck behind a tractor. Oh, all right.
Oh, you got stuck behind all those tractors.
Every tractor.
We had,
There was
did I ever
there was
tell
a
you?
tractor convention, guys.
There was the last day of school, my junior and senior year, everybody in the agricultural classes, which was a lot, but I mean, I was a really small school, but it was like 10 of them brought their tractors to school, drove their tractors to school.
On the last day of school.
Parked them in the school parking lot, and it was literally a jam because there's only one road that connects all the towns and the main city. So there's like only one paved road that connects the towns to the big city, and my school's like right in the middle of it. So all the kids that were coming to school on these tractors,
They would have had to
walking.
leave so early.
They all left at like 5 in the morning or something like
Yeah.
that.
In
But
order
the
to get
next
to school
year-
on time.
The first year they left at like 7, and they backed up all the people trying to get to work in the city, and people were so pissed.
I can imagine.
They're like, listen, I'm late because I'm stuck behind 15 tractors. But yeah, back to her family. I love her, like you said, I love her grandma, and I love when her mom asked him what he did. He's like, oh, I'm just a normal boy from the city. And both the great grandma and her were like, he needs to become our son-in-law.
I know.
You need to marry him. He's a normal boy. And there's like,
He's like, wait, is this a good thing or a bad thing? When they like got really intense with him, he's just like,
her family was great.
Her family was awesome, but like when it comes to her, like she was a cool character, but I like from
she's a little bland.
yeah, she was very
Bland.
yeah, she was a little bit more than a little bland. Like
You know what I do? You know what I like? And this is just a storytelling thing. This isn't like anything having to do with her personality or making her a better character. But I like that that the thing that we commonly see where the main male character is really into something and then the female character is like, oh, I'll try that out too. That was like flipped, and I liked that.
yeah,
So like
the
she's
opposite.
super into horses, and he's like, maybe I'll try out horses. And he like sucks at horses the same way that in like sports anime and manga, like the girl always sucks at the sport, but they try it anyway. I was like, aw, this is nice to see. He's just
Yeah.
like,
yeah, that is different. You're right.
Mhm.
But when it comes to her character, like I guess she didn't have enough screen time yet. Like she was on here and there, but like I don't know. She just seems like way too bland.
I think she also, it's a little bit that she's overshadowed by all of the other really strong personalities around her.
Yeah.
They're all very distinct, strong personalities, and like her being a little bit more timid too.
Yeah.
Like
It's just
she's
now that I'm really getting interested with the whole like what the hell's going on, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably something like not even that crazy.
It's probably nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm still kind of more interested in her character now. Like, why was she crying? What's going on? You know, like,
Yeah.
what's up with him? Like, her and that shish kebab dude. You know, it's kind of like.
Hmm.
I don't- But before that, it's kind of, okay, you like horses. You're just like this just typical nice girl that you see in manga all the time, and that's about it. Like, she's very naive. She's like, oh, you should come over to our house. You know, it's kind of like,
Will you help me search for my bra? I can't find a bra.
I loved
I'm
that
looking for a
whole
bra.
thing. It's like, what? It's
You
like,
knew
oh,
what?
what does it look like? Oh, it's like big and black. And he's like, oh, really?
Whoa.
A big black bra? You don't say. I was like, oh my god.
you like looked at her like
God.
a bra.
He was so excited. Oh my god, it was so funny. I love that they slipped those like little like just funny, immature little things in there. That
Like
like
a-
boys, high school boys would totally
In the
think.
end,
It's
yeah,
so
in
funny.
the end, it's always just like, oh, you were talking about farming equipment again. Like,
Oh,
it's just
And it gets you every time.
Every time!
You just never learn. You know, it's kind of like damn it.
we learn just as slowly as he does, apparently. Some things. It was so funny.
He's like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's a bra for cows.
He's just like,
you know.
he did his face again. Just like, I know we kind of touched on artwork, but what do you guys think about the art? Thoughts on it?
I mean, I have a soft spot for her art style because of FMA. She's never had an art style that I would say is like great, I don't think. But it's grown on me so much because I was with it for so long that now I'm like, oh, it's so nice to see it again, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. I think her art style is very fun.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say that it's like pretty.
No,
you know?
it's not like anything that
It's unique.
Not like
though.
amazing
it's
or
unique,
pretty.
but it's very it's her full panel stuff is always very very detailed. But other than that, you can tell that like it's not amateur. It's very distinct. It's very
Yeah.
distinct.
It's
to her,
simple.
too.
She
It's
does. She doesn't
simple,
go.
yeah.
She doesn't
Very
go
simple,
like into this crazy detail. You know, she
Yeah.
she kind of like she focuses like on the characters. I guess expressions more than the actual like. And she does put some detail in background, but it's not like One Piece detail or like Berserk detail or something like that.
Yeah.
Because,
Very
yeah. But it's good. It's like it's not like I just said. It's not like amazing, like the best thing you've ever seen. But it's something that is very memorable because of like FMA and stuff. And it is nice to see those characters again.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
background characters. Some characters look like people from FMA, and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah. It's very clean. The
Mhm.
artwork is very clean, and there
Oh,
aren't
yeah.
ever any moments where you're like, "What is that supposed to be? What's your hand doing?"
It's like
bro?"
the opposite of Shingeki no Kyojin.
Yeah.
Like, when I read that manga, I'm like, what is happening?
You have to like turn that. You're just like, "What is
It's like-
going on?" Even though
But-
like there's yeah.
Yeah, it's because
exactly.
Shingeki is more like sketchy.
There's so
That's
many
like,
sketchy lines. Yeah.
You know, this is just like doop, 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 that's
Very
it.
clean lines,
Very
very simple
clean.
art.
There's
You
no
can follow
there's
it
no
so
not really
easily.
any shadowing on it. There's not really shading. It's just very simple.
Unless like
Still
like
distinct.
it's an epic face, then it's
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
There's
a
That's
lot
the
of
only-
shading.
Uh-huh.
I'm so happy that this series is doing well and that it's really good because I loved, like we said, we all loved Full Metal Alchemist so much that it's really good to see a mangaka do something else that is very strong and
Yeah.
not just like, because after like Full Metal Alchemist is so epic and so memorable and did so well that it makes me really happy that this isn't something like she's still taking a chance, like she took a risk. She
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
do something exactly. It's nowhere near anything.
It's the
like Full Metal. It's
opposite,
completely
honestly. Like
different.
it's about farming. It's about farm
there's
animals.
no
and
magic.
stuff.
There's no
It's-
alchemy. There's
It's
nothing like that.
it's educational as well. It's
Mhm.
it's completely different, and it's doing very well in Japan. And like I totally pick up the volumes if they ever come over here to America.
I would too, and I love that. Like it's different. Not even just for her. It's different from other manga that are out right now. It's
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
different from like. When I was reading it, I was like, I don't think I've read a lot of slice of life, but I don't think I've ever read something as educational yet interesting as this manga. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
there's another manga I could compare it to.
And
that
it's
I've
about like because it's not about just cows or just horses. It's about like agriculture in general. It winds up covering so much too, and that keeps it really fresh and interesting. And I keep waiting for it to become more focused, because normally manga does. Like eventually it'll be the main character finds this thing that they're real good at, and then it's just all about that, and that hasn't happened yet. And
it kind of happened. Like we found out that he's like people are attracted to him. He's like one of those people that like people like to be around because he's nice. He has like a different mindset. That's kind of what his thing is, because he thinks he's completely like useless.
But he still doesn't have like a goal. Like he hasn't had something specific like, I'm going to become the best horse rider in the world. You know, he doesn't have anything like that. It's just, I'm going to do my best this agricultural
I don't think
school.
He's going to have a goal. Or at least
I kind of hope he doesn't.
Because that kind of like ruins the point, or like one of the big, I guess, things about the manga, because you don't really need to have this like crazy goal and you have to like try to achieve it, like put everything. You can just kind of like do your own thing and like things still happen. I don't know. Like I don't really have any like major goals, but it's not like I'm kind of like just like sitting not doing anything, you know. That's how life is. Not everybody has some crazy goals out there.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Like that'd be really cool if that's how it ended. Like he still didn't quite know. I would love if he didn't have a goal, but he still knew who he was as a person and finally accepted that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
He slowly is. He's like, okay, I'm the guy that everybody goes to, and you know they need something, you know, because he's he's very slowly trying. He's starting to do that, and he's kind of like, oh, I want to do something again, like the whole pizza party, so that people can like, you know, like be happy around me again, you know, 'cause, like everything's been kind of going down the shitter for me a little bit lately, you know, with the girl and all this other stuff, like, you know, so
so great. We are coming up on an hour here, so let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings really quick. And then we'll hop on to what we're reading for next week. We'll round this out. So do you guys want to go first? I can go first.
Sure.
Go for it.
Sweet. I am going to give it, oh golly, I don't know what I'm going to give it. Okay, I'm going to start out with why I liked it. I really enjoyed it because it was not at all what I was expecting, and I did not expect to like it as much as I did, even though it's from a mangaka that I absolutely love, and it's so different from anything I'd ever read before, and I really enjoyed the fact that it was so educational and so different, but also really well done, and the characters were really good, and the art was so just so nostalgic because of Full Metal Alchemist. I think I'm actually going to give it, it's probably one of my favorite manga that we've read so far, so I think I'm going to give it, based on enjoyment and characters and story and everything, I think I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Damn.
I know.
I'm doing it. 9.5. Hard, right there.
Don't apologize for it.
I'm not. I enjoyed it that much. I thought it was that fantastic.
Yoku, go.
I want me to go next. All right.
I'm just curious to know what you're gonna give it now.
Well, the thing is,
mine might have been too high, but I don't care. I'm sticking with it.
No, stick with it, man.
I don't think that's even too high, because like when I think about it, this is probably also like in the top 3 that we've read so far on MangaPod that I enjoyed the most. It's not the number 1, but it's in the top 3 for me. Mainly because I got so into it. Like I read every bubble. I was like so interested in all these facts of this comedy. I'd be like reading like, oh, this is so cool, and then like some like funny moment happened. I started like laughing out loud. And it really got me into the characters are all great. You know, some of them are kind of a little bit blander than the others, but there's a lot of characters. Come on, you're not gonna make everybody like the best character out there. So a rating. That's really hard. I didn't really think about a rating, but I'd probably give it, from these 35 chapters. I could see it going up even more, but I'd probably give it a 9. And I thought that was gonna be like the highest rating that one of us is gonna give, but Aaron topped me on that. I said 9.5.
Aaron slammered it.
But yeah, a 9. I could see it.
I milked it for all it was worth.
Sticking a 9 throughout the whole thing, because my enjoyment level did not like drop throughout reading these 35 chapters. It was pretty steady, because it was a study of information coming. It was just entertaining, interesting throughout the whole time, and I could even see it getting better. And it's very unique. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Like I've never read anything like this, and I've read so many manga, so it's really nice and fresh, a fresh read. So 9 out of 10.
Awesome. 9.5 and a 9.
Damn.
Dodger.
Dodger.
Do you do you. Don't feel pressured to do anything.
Oh, feel pressure.
No.
Very pressured.
Okay. I agree. I absolutely loved this manga. I have a soft spot for Arakawa, and so I was trying not to let that taint whether or not I would love this manga, but it wound up being so completely different that I definitely read it as its own standalone thing, separate from anything else I've read of hers, and it was still just wonderful. And I love the characters, and I'm really excited to see where the story is going and how she's going to maintain interest, like beyond how far we got. So I'm gonna give it a 9, and I think it has the potential to get better and even more interesting. So
What?
I'm excited to see that happen.
I'm honestly surprised that like we all gave it a 9.
I'm glad. It deserves it. I'm glad that we all enjoyed
good.
it. Yeah. I'm glad that we all enjoyed it. I wonder what
Like-
I want to know what Dazza's opinion is on
Daz is like, I would give it a 4. Boring.
And on enjoyment level, I'd give it 100. But critically, it's a 4.
Dazza, we love you.
No, but it's
yes,
it's just
yes.
I think the biggest surprise for me that I like why I enjoyed it so much was because it's when I look at it, it's a manga about farming and how like entertaining can farming get, like that's what I thought, you know, but like it just like caught me so off guard, and like I got into it from like the first few pages. That is just great.
Yeah.
So anybody who that's in here that has not read it and just like listen through all our spoilers, go read it.
Go read it.
It's totally worth it.
There really isn't anything that we spoiled though. There's nothing like.
Yeah, it's not like one of those. There's like a crazy story going on. No, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like we're just talking about some of the
Turns
funny.
out he's actually the devil.
What?
And
He
then
just sacrifices all of the animals.
How will the devil handle going to agricultural high school?
Oh
If
boy.
he winds
like
up being the devil, I'm really
That's
sorry. That would be very weird.
that like happened in chapter 50 or something like
Shut
that.
up.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Awesome. So we got a 9.5, a 9, and a 9.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's like
That's
on
one of
the
our highest-
Shingeki level right there. Ratings.
I think that's Densha Otoko level, actually.
Damn.
I gave Densha a 10.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
you-
that's-
You did.
Sorry. Wow.
I gave
You're
Densha a 9, I
feisty.
believe.
You are feisty tonight. I think I gave
I
you a
know.
9.
I am feisty.
No, I love it when you're feisty.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Okay.
I'm also very tired. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I'm super tired. It's
I'm
okay.
exhausted.
My
I just
vibe.
came back from a 12-hour drive, so
Yeah,
I'm
we're all like.
like-
What?
gonna pass out. It's like
Yoko just falls
Perfect.
asleep. Well, then let's round this up before everybody falls asleep. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, I will read, unless somebody else wants to read the description, but I have it pulled up.
Go for it.
So I can
I don't-
DoctorDazza.
I don't even know what we're reading.
Oh, it's gonna surprise.
All right, just read the description. Don't say it. Just read
I'm
the description.
having problems. Okay, I'm just gonna read the description then.
Yes, do it.
I'll guess.
Stas is the vampire boss of a section of the demon world, but he has little interest in human blood. He's more infatuated with Japanese culture. When he learns that Yanagi Fuyumi, a Japanese teenage girl, accidentally wanders into the demon city, he jumps on the occasion. However, while Stats deals with an intruder on his turf, the oblivious Fuyumi is killed by a monster and becomes a wandering ghost. The disappointed Stats vows to her that he will find a way to bring her back to life.
Blood Lad.
Blood.
Yeah! I'm so
Yeah!
excited for that anime.
I'm really excited for it.
I've read like the first like 20 chapters.
Oh, really?
Do you like it?
Do you like
No,
it?
don't tell me.
Don't, yeah,
No.
wait.
I don't know.
The spoilers.
Well, let me just tell you, it's
I did
pretty
see you go
much-
like this though, so I'm going to assume
it's
either
pretty
you were
much
really excited that you knew what the name of the manga was, or you're really excited that we're reading
Well,
it.
I have mixed feelings when it comes to Blood Lads. I think it'll be an interesting discussion next week.
Sweet.
How many chapters are we reading?
We have written 1 through 28, but we've had a few people tell us differently. So somebody said 1 through 30. So that sounds like a nice stopping point.
I think when we wrote the schedule, I think 28 was all that was out, or all that was translated.
Oh, that's
So-
right. Okay, let's do
Probably-
1 through 28, and then if it ends up there are more out, I'll tweet about it and post it on the Reddit.
Okay.
So
1 through 30.
1 through 28.
Oh.
How many chapters are out at a time we're gonna be doing the manga pod? Let's just do that.
Okay.
I like how my camera immediately went out of focus. It's like,
I know. It's
what,
like, where
what
am
is
I
happening?
supposed to be
What
looking?
are we doing?
Where am I supposed to be looking?
Well,
.net.
like that.
Here. Why don't you guys? I'm gonna look this up really quick. Why don't you guys tell our lovely audience where they can find you?
You can find me on youtube.com/pressheart-to-continue, where I do game stuff, and youtube.com/dexterity-bonus, where I do a daily vlog and drink coffee and tell you about my day. And on Twitter, you can find me at dexbonus, DEXBONUS, and on Tumblr, you can find me at dexbonus.tumblr.com. I have to check every single damn time. Yes, dexbonus.tumblr.com.
I accidentally typed in blood load and it made me laugh.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds awful.
That doesn't sound like anything good could come from that Google search. Oh,
Why is this
gosh.
not going? Okay, according to Basuke.net, there are only 28 chapters out, so we're gonna read to 28.
All
And
right,
if it
sounds
turns out there's
good.
more out, then we can tweet about it. Figure it out. Thank you for outroing yourself, pretty lady.
You're welcome.
I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. My Twitter handle is twitter.com/HappiLeeErin. My Tumblr is HappiLeeErin.tumblr.com. And I'm just HappiLeeErin everywhere. So that's where you can find my stuff. And we also have a MangaPod iTunes and also a MangaPod subreddit. Our lovely mods are posting it in the chat. So, and those will also be in the description and such. So,
Yeah, and you can find me at Yokorama Game Talk on YouTube. But do not expect games because I don't talk about games on there.
you started changing that.
No. I'm all about weird things.
Perfect outro.
Go on.
You can find me at Yokorama News, where I don't talk about news. I just do episode reviews like Attack on Titan. And Twitter is Yokorama Talks, at Yokorama Talks, and then Tumblr is just Yokorama.
Awesome.
I wish I could just like change everything to just Yokorama.
Just Yokorama.
You can change your Twitter, can't you? Unless somebody already has
You
it.
can change your Tumblr too.
I bet you somebody has already Yokorama.
They're gonna have it now. They're all going now.
Somebody stop, guys! No.
No, you guys, chat, stop! No. Usually joining us as well, if this is your first time joining us, we usually have DoctorDazza of Fighting for Nippon. His Twitter handle is the DoctorDazza, right? I I
No,
I think
it's just
DoctorDazza. His other YouTube is the Doctor.
The Doctor.
second
That's
is-
what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian is
Don't worry,
linking his
Dazza, we
stuff.
got you.
We got you. We got you.
We got you, girl.
Girl, we figured you out. You looking so good, girl.
Girl.
Alrighty, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for joining us live from MangaPod and watching us talk about Silver Spoon. Let us know in everything what you thought of Silver Spoon as well. We'd love to engage you in conversation, talk about it on the Reddit and such. Next week we will be back, same place, same time, same time. Same
What?
time, same place.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll be right here at twitch.tv/HappiLeeErin next Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We got started a little bit late today, but next week we will for sure be at 7:30. Hopefully, don't quote me on that. But we love you all so much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!